Ladies and gentlemen, On the Mic is on the road, and we are here in Islamabad. We are inside the heart and soul of Pakistani mixed martial arts. We are here at the Preacher's Den in an undisclosed location for your viewing purposes. And joining me today are three of the women who made their mark at the National Fighting Tournament. It happened in Kala Shah Kaku under the SA Gardens. All three of these women competed representing Team Fight Fortress. They got two belts, two big belts, brought them back to Islamabad. Two of them also fought the week after at Fighting Alliance. It's a new time, it's a new day in Pakistani mixed martial arts, and I don't think there can be anything better than having more and more women fight, more and more women compete. And so it's my pleasure to introduce today's guests, Faika Zafar, of course, champion now at the women's strawweight category at the National Fighting Tournament. Saria Khan, what an incredible performance, both fights. Absolutely brilliant in the atomweight category. Came up short in a tough fight. Got to fight in Fighting Alliance as well. Week after, got the win. Bushra Ahmed, many of you know her as the Unicorn. You know her through 3WL. That's where she first fought. And then she captured, of course, the featherweight gold at the National Fighting Tournament. Women, thank you so much for coming in today, for taking out the time, for being on the mic. And it's such a pleasure to have you all. How are we doing? Yeah, we're going to have to take turns like this, by the way. Any of you can go. It's a team effort. You figure it out. But how are we doing? How are we feeling after 2 weeks of non-stop back-to-back MMA and, getting all these wins?
It's pretty insane, honestly. Training together and then fighting together out of city in Lahore. It's been an insane feeling. It's brought us closer together. And I'm so happy to be here with my girls and on this podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Our pleasure. Absolutely. How was the 2 weeks of fighting for you?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. Like a lot of pressure and stressful as well at the time. But yeah, it went amazing. Yeah. So glad that we did it together. Yeah.
It seemed like we were all a team together.
Yeah.
Bushra, what about you? Of course, you had a fight before at Real World. Very fun fight. And now you come back. You get to do your thing. How did it feel?
Thank you for having us. It was amazing. I'm still overwhelmed by it. Abhi tak still in that mode. Like it's 1 day or two, I've realized, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. In my first fight in Proving Ground series, you have seen that. You were there.
Yep.
So yeah, that was like an amazing experience because I've been waiting for that fight for 2 years.
Yeah.
So back-to-back fights after that, I did not imagine that pretty soon. I was like 2 years, then I'll get a fight, 3 years. It's pretty insane.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
for sure. How long have each of you been training MMA now? I'll start with you.
So I've been training for 2 years and I had a boxing fight before as well. But MMA, I didn't think I would be able to fight this soon because, I was always told there's no girls that fight, which I was totally proved wrong by, in these past 2 weeks. But I've been training MMA for 2 years.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, I've been training MMA since 3 years now.
3 years.
I started with boxing eventually, then switched to MMA.
Brilliant.
And my first fight was back in last year, December in DBC. Yeah, that was my debut fight.
Got you.
Yeah.
Desi Brawls?
Yeah, Desi
And
Brawls.
what about you, Bushra?
Okay, so I started as weightlifting, general workout gym.
Yeah.
In 2018, I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, then I moved to wrestling, then striking. But till 2021, in the beginning, at the end of 2020 or start of 2021, I had no plans to become a fighter.
Right.
That's when I realized in the beginning of 2021 or maybe the end of 2020 that I am a fighter. Like I realized that at that time. Since then, I'm looking for fights.
Constantly looking for fights. And what was really impressive for me was that you've come from a boxing background, you've come from generally working out to then finding out that you actually want to be an RR fighter. I think it's pretty incredible, especially considering that all three of your game plans were very similar at National Fighting Tournament in the sense that it was a complete mixed martial arts display, right? So you obviously did strike with the girls where you needed to, but a lot of it was, let's not take that much damage, let's take them down, let's secure the rounds, let's get it done. What has it been like transitioning into MMA and adopting like such a different kind of a game? Because boxing is very unifocal, it's your hands, of course there's so much behind boxing as well as if you treat it as it's a separate discipline. But what was it about MMA that made you girls want to go, all right, forget weightlifting, forget boxing, forget whatever I'm doing right now? Or what was it that made you want to go towards MMA? I'll start with you.
Okay, so since I was training in Fight Fortress, so in the beginning, because I was working out, I was a fat kid basically, so I joined the gym for weight loss. So because I've never been to any gym before that. So when I started, I ended up in Fight Fortress. So for the first year, I was just lifting. And then I was looking at people. I was like, what are they doing? Like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was like a alien concept to me. I was like, what's happening?
It
Like,
looks
wha-
visually very
it's like
weird
it's
as
like
well.
why what are these people doing?
Yeah, exactly.
So one day Coach Atif would tell me, like, you should join, this is good for fat loss. I'm like, okay. Then he said it again and again and again. I was like, why is it's so annoying? Let's join it.
Yeah.
So for the first 3 months I had no idea what's happening. I was like, it's like I'm doing something, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
But over the period of time, like after I got my blue belt, उसके बाद समझ आने लगे अच्छा क्या हो रहा है. And I think I'm built that way. So wrestling comes naturally to me. It's not like, it's like I've trained a lot, but fight me, I want to strike more. Like abhi is fight me, I wanted to strike more. But eventually it happens. Like game plan रह के ही था, take down, थोड़ी सी striking करें, take down करें, ground पे finish करें. But I wanted to strike more maybe. Yeah. But yeah.
But instincts kick in.
Yeah, instincts
for
like
you're built for more, for sure.
Yeah.
And what about you girls? Like, what was the thing that brought you closer to MMA? Like, was it anything about the fighting style itself? Was it about, how MMA is so popular now? Like, what was the thing that made you go, all right, this is what I want to do?
To be honest with me, I joined Fight Fortress back in 2018 for just 3 months. So I'm basically from Kashmir and I came here, my metric exam chal rahe the tab, and it was winter vacation. So I just wanted to join. So going back to the childhood time, I really liked wrestling, WWE.
Hell yes.
Yeah, big fan.
Still
and me and my cousins, we used to put locks on each other, submission and all. I enjoyed it so much, but eventually I started liking boxing. Had no idea about it, to be honest, but one of my senior was a kickboxer from Kashmir, and then I wanted to join as well. Then I came to Islamabad and my sister knew Fight Fortress somehow. I went there and my first coach was Zia Mashwani, Shahnawaz and Haider Satti, and it was so incredible, all of these guys, and seeing them like training each other and all. So yeah, boxing I choose it because क्योंकि बाकी सब जो भी हो रहा था striking jiu-jitsu, मुझे ऐसा लगता था इसमें ज़्यादा मार पड़ेगी, ज़्यादा damage होगा, I can't do this. Yeah, boxing was like okay. So I joined it. Even Coach Atif once asked me to join jiu-jitsu at that time. He was like, join the class for once, and I was like, no, literally no. He was like, अच्छा warm up कर लो. मैंने कहा no, I don't want to. Yeah, and then I did boxing for 3 months, went back to Kashmir. Then for a year and more I wasn't allowed to do that, to go back to Islamabad and start MMA, to be honest, and had no idea. And then when I shifted, Haider Satti was like, go for MMA, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it, I can't do it. And he literally pushed me a lot, like, you can do it, like Anita has done it, why can't you? And because of him I joined MMA. Yeah.
Right,
and it was so new to me, like jiu-jitsu and everything, and I still don't like jiu-jitsu. But yeah, gotta do it.
You gotta do what you gotta
Yeah.
do. I see. What was your Faika?
So I think, as illustrated by both of their stories, I really do believe that you don't choose MMA, it chooses you.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I started off with boxing as well, and eventually striking for MMA. I was so intimidated. So we had 2 classes, right, on alternate days. We were striking for MMA and wrestling for MMA. And so I just started with striking for MMA. I was so intimidated by wrestling because उनकी ड्रिल्स में ही वो शुरू में कार्ट व्हील्स कर रहे होते थे, हैंड स्टैंड्स कर रहे होते थे. I was like, what? I can't learn this. But eventually, you start learning these new things you thought you could never do, and you start challenging your body, and then you're like, wow, okay, if I can do this, what else can I do? So it just starts creeping up on you, and you keep learning, and it's like an addiction. So that is how I got into MMA. It was just a crazy experience for me.
The best kind of addiction,
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I think this is a great addiction to have, like just wanting to fight. And I mean those are all like very cool stories, and the reason they're cool is because there was always like an environment at Team Fight Fortress that allowed you to kind of step in, right? Like they were
absolutely.
pushing you constantly, do this. And I think that's really awesome. And when you're training MMA, especially at Team Fight Fortress, even if you're training boxing, whatever you're training, recovery is a very important part of the whole thing. Being able to recover from the hard sessions, being able to recover from the fight, especially when you girls are fighting back-to-back days on a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you have recovery needs, which is why I want to thank the sponsor of this video, the beautiful people over at Ostrus, for creating the wonder product of the year. Didn't see that coming, did you? The wonder product of the year. I'm talking about the Enhanced Ostrich Oil. It is 100% natural pain reliever. It is a perfect recovery product that can help you come over any kind of pains, any kind of aches, any kind of spasms that you have on your body, workout related or otherwise. If you're like me, a casual kickboxer who'll do a deadlift every once and again out of ego and will hurt your back, and then you'll be like, why did I do that? This product is literally made for you. So please do go check it out. Links in bio. Ostrus on Instagram, Facebook. Go buy and place your order today. And the beautiful people at Ostrus are amazing because they're supporting MMA. They're supporting conversations about MMA. They're supporting MMA fighters. They're helping MMA fighters by sponsoring them going to camps. So please check them out. They're one of the brands who are really making the difference. And I really want to say thank you genuinely to Ostrus for believing in us and on the mic and in MMA. And they send their best and they send their regards. And they have sent the enhanced ostrich oil for each of you. So please do try it. Oh, no, hold on to that. That's yours. Don't give up your Ostrus. No, but for real, do try it. Do tell them what you think. Let me know as well. I'll pass on the message to them. They're really interested and they 100% believe in their product. This is the kind of company that tells you not to buy a certain product if it doesn't match your needs. They really care about their consumers and their customers. So please do check it out and check out
Thank you so
Ostrus.
much for
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you, Ostrus. We love you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's up. And yeah. So coming back to the fighting aspect of everything, 3 fights, multiple days, the NFT happened, all of that. I'm sure when you got into this sport, you had an idea that, you know, I want to compete. I want to compete at the highest level. I want to compete against the toughest girls. I want to prove myself. But when you got to NFT and when you got to say it, I want you to be as candid as you possibly can, right? What were the things about Pakistani MMA or just the tournament itself or whatever was happening there? What were the things that immediately stuck out to you? Were you thinking, oh, this is awesome? Like, I didn't ever think that this would be a platform that we would get to, you know, compete on? Or was this one of those experiences where you were like, oh, that's weird. Oh, what was that? What was that? Like, what were your first initial feelings being exposed to a competition of this scale, Pakistani MMA? Who wants to go first?
So I'll go first. I think it was a great event. Honestly, I went into this not knowing what I was signing up for, to be honest. I knew, you know, there's an NFT. It happened once before. It's happening again. Kahan hai, kab ho raha hai, kis tarah ho raha hai, mujhe nahi pata tha. So it was at the secluded place where, you know, I'd never been before, never heard of before. While the event was amazing, we're the sort of people who fall asleep at 10 p.m. and then we wake up at, you know, yeah. So for the fights to go on to like
I swear the last 3 days I've just been like, oh, I'm hungry, never mind, everything is closed at 12. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. So we're the sort of people who go to sleep at 10 p.m. and the fights went on the first day till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And so honestly, all of us were gassed and we were just thinking, ke, how will we fight? Ye kab shuru hoga, kab khatam hoga? But honestly, the quality of fights, it was amazing. You know, the teams that came from all over the country and the people, their fights were amazing, their gameplay was amazing, and it was honestly insane to see, especially the female fighters. We didn't think that they would be training this hard and they would be putting on this performance, but it was crazy. Yeah.
Bushra, how was it like for you? I mean, you've been to 2 events before this. You competed at 2 events, Real World, PGS, and how was this?
It was amazing, but like I said, likewise, Faika said it was amazing. It was overwhelming for me. But in my mind, in my weight class, I never thought I'm going to get fights. Like, it was that for me. Okay, I have to work more hard. I train every day. Like, nobody's here or no. I train every day. And it's either strength training, either Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, either wrestling. I train every day, like, regardless of the work and everything. So I was like, I am training for higher stuff. I might not be able to get a fight here. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So it was like, wow, it's for real. Like literally, it was that for me. So I'm still like overcoming that. Okay, it was for real. It's still unbelievable for me. So yeah, it was amazing.
For sure. What about you? How was it?
For me, after DBC, like I had to wait a lot. I wasn't getting any fights, or jo bhi events mein sign up hote the, like Spark and all, they were not happening. And when Spark happened, my nose was injured. I couldn't fight at that time. So a lot was happening. But yeah, when I heard about NFT, I was super excited already. But जब वो बता रहे थे कि अलग-अलग province में उनके trials हो रहे हैं, literally I wasn't believing it. I was like, nahi, aisa nahi ho sakta. Yeah. So, but it eventually happened and it was so overwhelming, to be honest. And the best part was I get to see so much of talent in Pakistan, like so many fights, so many talented fighters, female and male as well. So yeah, it was quite a lot. Yeah, I'm quite happy about it.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm actually curious, what do you do otherwise, all three of you? Like, do you have jobs? Are you studying?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Okay, so I've done masters in peace and conflict studies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've
I was
worked
actually
in.
looking into that for my masters also, but I'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I did work in an NGO for a year. Then I was currently working in a gym as a gym instructor, gym coach.
Gotcha.
Just resigned today.
Oh.
Cut that part.
Hey!
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
hey! Congratulations on your
Yeah,
freedom.
yeah, so-
We'll bleep it out. Or something.
Yeah, I deserve congratulations so that I can train better now.
Yeah,
Like
for
I
sure.
need rest. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do
Okay,
apart from
awesome.
that.
What about you?
I'm studying clinical psychology,
Ooh,
and yeah, I'm working as a business consultant at night. So yeah,
let's go.
night jobs, then
Yeah.
university, then gym
Clinical
training.
psychology.
Yeah.
Is any of that applicable in MMA?
Not yet. I eventually wanted to do sports psychology, but
Yeah.
Pakistan, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
Not in bachelor's, but my plan is to go for masters in sports psychology. So yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. I think athletes need sports
Oh, yeah.
psychologists.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in Pakistan for sure.
Yeah, literally in
Because
Pakistan.
there's so much mental, so many mental wars to overcome before you
Yeah,
can step in the
literally,
cage. And
yeah.
there's so many fighters that, like, this is gonna take a really serious turn all of a sudden. But like, mere samne in the last 3 years, the other fighters zaya hote hue maine dekhe.
Bilkul.
It's all because, you know, of course, the deck is stacked up against them in such a way that you automatically, you know, are pushed to a point to say, I'm just gonna stop
Yeah,
fighting.
definitely.
So
yeah.
that's where, you know, the psychological
Yeah.
aspect comes in.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will, you know, contribute
yeah,
back.
Inshallah,
and
I'm
help.
planning to literally.
No,
I'll
awesome.
work with my own team first.
I'm sure. No, what about you?
So I'm also just completing my degree in psychology, bachelor's degree in psychology, and I also work as a book editor. So I've published over 16 internationally published books. So
Damn.
yeah.
Any worth bragging about? Like any books?
I mean, it's mostly just, yeah, there was this book on finance that the person who's from Gen Z wrote, and it went on to become one of, you know, the best-selling books all over.
Damn.
And it was crazy. It's a really crazy job because
Yeah.
you get to work with a lot of different people. So
Yeah. And how do you all feel about like balancing real life with MMA? Because right now your careers are just starting, right, so to speak. Like it's been roughly 2 to 3 years or around that benchmark that you've been training, and now you've got your first taste of like proper high level sanctioned amateur competition through NFT. Now the work's gonna, like you said, it's gonna continue to grow. Like you're gonna have more and more people coming in your weight classes. You're gonna have more and more competition that you're gonna have to face. More and more girls, because of you, are gonna now want to start MMA, and some of them could have natural dispositions, which mean that your 3 years or their 1 year. There's 1,000 things, you know, it goes on in athletes' mind, especially one that has to fight other athletes, you know. But how do you feel about realistically managing like real life in MMA? And do you, and while you're answering this, do you treat MMA as like the one thing right now that this is what I want to do, or are you still in the mindset that, okay, wait, this is one of the things and I'll just keep doing other things as well?
I tried to balance it out. Like when I was a student back in 2018, when I joined TFF, I was going to university and I was dropped at the gym. Pura din gym mein guzarti thi literally. I was strength training. Then I will take one class, another class. Then back then it was manageable. I was having fun. I didn't even know I was I wanted to become a fighter. It was manageable. Then still then, like when I started working, unfortunately, people don't understand. Like they need work, and I get it. Previously, I was like, let's try it. Let's balance it out. You know, but it's not possible here. Like I've tried it. I wanted to try and say, okay, it's not possible. I tried working in an NGO. I get it. They don't understand. Then I work in a gym. They don't understand it either.
Yeah.
So it's like hard, and I train independently too.
Yeah.
Like I'll be focusing more on that.
Yeah.
And yes, this is the one thing I want right now. Like because I have currently I'm 27.
Yeah.
This is like less time slot. In next 5 to 10 years, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Uske baad coaching bhi ho jayegi, I'll do. And meanwhile, like I have time right now, so I'll focus on some of the research and try to combine both of these, MMA and my field, peace and conflict studies. I'll be working on that. Meanwhile.
No, we need peace and conflict resolution in MMA and Pakistani MMA politics and all of these federations and these old hacks. And
Basically, I was looking for it on the self-defense perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
very
became,
important.
write a proposal and research article. I had
Yeah.
a lot in mind about that, but then I get distracted.
No,
So, yeah.
that's awesome. What about you? Like,
I think it's very important for a person to integrate MMA into whatever else they're doing, because for a girl, especially in Pakistan, it's simply not realistic to focus only on the sport, because there's no opportunities, barely any opportunities, and you can train and do what you want. But the point is कि आपको साल में एक ही दफा fight मिलती है, वही जो हमारी एक हफ्ते में 4 हो गई है, that's that, right? That's that.
Yeah, that's that.
So the wisest thing to do is, whatever you're studying, whatever you're working on, just integrate MMA into it, और उस तरह काम करें तो सबसे बेहतर होता है. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm aiming for, at least.
Brilliant. What about you?
For me, balancing everything has been super hard, super tough. Like till metric, I had very good marks and I was a very good student. And then in FSC, when I joined MMA and all, it went down.
Yeah, yeah.
The grades went so down and
Yeah.
all. Then I got admission in university. I had to go with a semester, like a semester freeze and all of it, because I couldn't balance all of it, like job, then
Yeah,
MMA, then university. But MMA is the only thing that I want to do. Like Faika said, like MMA has chosen us and I don't want to give up on it any sooner. And I mean, obviously there are many obstacles, like if I leave my studies or job and anything, I know I wouldn't stay in anywhere, but I'm trying to balance it, to be honest. But yeah, I love to do MMA. That's the only thing that makes me happy, and I would love to see myself somewhere in MMA rather than anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's awesome. And look, the reason like it's so remarkable that 3 of you from TFF came to NFT. TFF overall won the most amount of belts in the tournament. Congratulations to you, and obviously the rest of the team for that. But then you girls specifically showed out to be like the most strongest contingent across weight classes in women's MMA. Women's MMA is a very tricky thing in Pakistan because we're in Pakistan, right? Like there's no like two ways about it. We were talking to Anita as well during this trip, and she talked about a lot of the things that she had to overcome, like pressure from her extended family to her immediate family to her friends to society at large, just constantly making a point to remind her that she's not supposed to do this, right? As women who are now entering MMA, from the perspective of your team itself, of course, and I've already kind of gathered that they are very supportive of, bringing in as many people, regardless of gender, regardless of religion, regardless of race, like that's how it should be. But then when you look at society at large, your own personal lives, the public, so to speak, the Pakistani public, you know what I mean? God save us. But like, what have you felt? Like, have you felt any kind of a backlash or pushback? If you have, how do you deal with it? Or has it been like, just don't care. We're just gonna, what have your experiences been like as women entering MMA? Is basically what I'm asking. Anyone can go first.
So while the people at the gym are really supportive, and that's the environment you need to grow and foster, it's an entirely different environment outside. And so something I try to tell people, or something I try to talk to people about, it's this concept in psychology. It's called unconditional positive regard. It's a lot of the times people think that these choices we're making for ourselves are destructive. But even if they think so, even though that's not the case, we might not think that's the case. But unconditional positive regard is essentially respecting someone or thinking that they're still capable of their own life's autonomy, regardless of how you feel about their decisions. So, that is a constant struggle, just trying to tell people, okay, I know you don't agree with me. I know you think this isn't right for me. But hey, let's just focus on yourself and let me focus on me, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a constant struggle because everyone just feels like they're in charge of your life because, girls are supposed to be a certain way. You're supposed to sit at home, complete your education, get married. Let's get on with life, right? Have babies. That's it. That's your life.
Yeah.
But to us, it's much more than that. So yeah, it's an everyday struggle, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. What's it been like for you?
Likewise, like Faika said, it's like, I don't know, it's one incident that happened to me. I would like to quote it.
For sure.
So when the gym got closed, we went training in a park early in the morning, 5 a.m., woke up to train, and like because gym was closed. So this 2-3 Maulana uncles came to one of our teammates and they said कि ये लड़की यहाँ ट्रेन नहीं कर सकती, हमारा माहौल ख़राब करें.
Right.
And I was in shock because इससे पहले, because it wasn't like a dream, सब कुछ ideal नहीं चल रहा था. but it was still working out. The gym was open, so we were training at some place, right? Uske baad we didn't had the place to train. That's when you realize. Usse pehle I realized, okay, I'm not doing something normal. It's not acceptable, and I get that it's not acceptable. But that's when it hit me. Okay, it's real, and because me waking up 5 a.m. in the morning, training in the park, I don't know how does it bother somebody. But yeah, it does. So yeah, and apart from that, it's a constant struggle. My father would just say, "Bushra, job ke liye apply karo, kya kar rahi ho?" Like, I'm working, he doesn't get it. So it's like, they're neutral. Family wise, they're neutral about it, not very supportive, but not against. Just we don't talk about it. It's like
Right.
that.
It's an
like,
unspoken thing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
an unspoken thing. But I would say it's a good thing too. It's like not against it, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
As long as you're not actively trying to
yeah,
stop. Yeah.
it's
Alright.
fine. It's
How
going
about
fine.
you? Sorry.
For me, yeah, it has been a struggle, yes, but because I have this Fight Fortress family, my coaches and teammates, always sporting, so that's something that helps me out, figuring what to do and what not to, and also my friends and colleagues, they have been very supportive with this. When it comes to family, eventually they were very supportive at start, but when my studies started getting affected and a lot of things, when I'm struggling balancing out everything, so they they slightly get pissed over things, but had to overcome it. Of course, it will take some time for them to understand that where it is going, because in Pakistan, still at a very struggling stage, so they're just trying to understand what's next, what's going to happen, is it everything to her, or so that kind of struggle is there. But I had this mentality for long that I shouldn't care, no fuck givens kind of.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
but then I have started realizing that there are a lot of bounds and relationships that are affecting because of it, and I had to be a bit polite with them as well, and with that as well. So yeah, trying
Yeah.
to balance it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. And like, look, the last couple of years, especially post pandemic, last 2 almost 3 years now, have been, yes, they have been quite fast paced for Pakistan MMA compared to say like the first 10 years or first 8 years. Or beach mein bahut bura ek gap aaya tha where there were no events and there was no
Yeah,
fights and there was nothing
literally.
happening. I think it's like 2017 onwards, 2018 onwards. Right now we're at a point, yes, where things are picking up, but everyone's afraid of this. Like, and I mean everyone, I say everyone, I mean like gyms, coaches, promoters, journalists, whoever, everyone's just afraid, "Kya, what if something happens and this just stops?" Like, and as a fighter, then that fear is always in your head. Like, what if this just stops tomorrow? Like, whatever. There's 1,000 things that can happen, go wrong. Like, just 1,000 things that can go right as well. So, like, we all kind of hold on to this hope, and we really kind of pray that MMA stays the same way. #Save Combat Sports. That's why we started it, because we know that there could be things that lead to MMA kind of going downhill. But I have to say, it's because you girls are taking this step and kind of moving forward, which is why I have the utmost faith that nothing will stop. Because like, it's remarkable, and we were talking to Anita earlier as well. She said she didn't have opponents in Pakistan. Think about that for a second. Like, imagine being a fighter. Imagine wanting to fight in a country where there are no other fighters. Screw your weight class and your gender. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fight dudes. You know what I mean? And then I'm sure she would love to, but like, people would absolutely lose their mind if that happens. And yeah, so from there till now, we've come a long way. And you guys are kind of the next batch of fighters coming in. If you look at Pakistani MMA as a whole, like in the macro sense, is there anything in particular which bothers you the most, or something that you wish that would change immediately about Pakistani MMA? It can be about anything, like from the way promotions are set up, the way female fighters are looked at. It can be anything at all, like the way certain rules might not be executed here. Like, is there something that you wish you could personally change about Pakistani MMA right now?
So one thing that I literally hate is okay, so एक event होता है कोई भी, और वो फिर अगले 2-3-4 साल होता ही नहीं है उसका। कोई एक इवेंट हो जाएगा, फिर वो होगा ही नहीं. एंड इट्स सो वियर्ड एंड सो स्टूपिड. आई रियली हेट इट. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि 2-3 प्रमोशंस हों जो मतलब साथ काम करें और बड़े बड़े इवेंट्स कराएं, एंड एमेच्योर फाइटर्स दे आल्सो गेट पेड, एंड ताकि एक लाइन सेट हो जाए कि ऐसे करना है. अभी ये 4-5-6-10 इवेंट्स हो रहे होते हैं, कोई नया इवेंट अपना कर लेगा, केज सेट नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, लिटरली रेफरीज का नहीं पता, कुछ भी नहीं. एंड इंटरनेशनली ऐसे recognize भी नहीं होता, you know, एक rule set हो कि इसी तरह fights होनी है, all of it, and कुछ 2-3 promotions हो, जैसे ARY Warriors था, Legacy थी, all of these good events, you know, NFT. So yeah, that's one thing that I surely want to happen, rather than like this events happening other week and all, and फिर हो ही नहीं रहे, no idea. Or even आप fight set होती है, फिर पता चलता है event ही नहीं हो रहा, आप camp में होते हैं and you get to know there's no event happening. It's so disheartening, literally. Yeah. So this.
Is there anything separate you?
I think building on to what Saya said, एक तो events होते ही नहीं है, पर जब होते हैं वो fighters को इतना mistreat करते हैं, you know, they don't give us places to stay, they don't give us travel, the accommodation, even when it's given, it's not appropriate, especially female fighters को तो बहुत कम cater करते हैं, कोई health, कोई खाना, no nothing, we go in not knowing where we're staying, you know, how we're going to travel, सब कुछ अपना खुद करना, so it becomes more of like a task than, you know, you train so hard and then अपनी ही ख्वारी करके जाना, फिर उसके ऊपर से fight की तो training करनी ही है, उसमें भी अपने you have to prepare yourself mentally, physically, and then on top of that look for accommodation, on top of that do your own travel, so आपके coaches का भी दिमाग खराब हो जाता है, and you yourself are also like, you know, what do we do now?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's,
and I always say like the Pakistani MMA, you know, like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs is like physical, mental, financial. You know what I mean? Like the financial is a very important part as well, because you can't, like, you know, like it's very hard to do a full-time job or have a business and also be a fighter. Like you can't. It's very, very impossible. What have you observed? Is there anything in particular you would change?
Access to opportunities.
Yeah.
Particularly that, because I would understand about the weight class and all this, but a lot of stuff happens that come in light after it happens.
Right.
I don't get, like, we don't get to know before it happens.
Yeah.
So I would want just NFT hua, so we got to know it.
Yeah, well ahead of time.
Events happen, we don't get to know it.
Yeah.
This is the big gap. I think I felt it personally. Uske alawa, that's it. Uske alawa, for the fighters, I would want to say something. You have to work a lot hard then to, like, expect up tab kare, like when you work hard enough. Everybody thinks they're working hard, but you have to train like a fighter. And you have to accept, like, you have to be flexible to accept karna hai. Cheezein hongi, organized nahi hota. Like I got to know ke weight class hi cancel ho rahi hai. That was the thing that
was a crazy story.
I've
by
been
the
training.
Way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I've been training for like 2 years for that one fight, and I was like 2-3 kilo की वजह से मैं fight नहीं पीछे छोड़ूंगी. So this is the thing कि like बहुत छोटी सी बात है. Nobody consider it or care about it कि 3 kilo वजन ही ज़्यादा है. Nobody consider it. Me as a fighter, I've put my heart and soul into it, like literally blood and sweat. So I was like, wow. So this, it should, like, people should realize these small things.
How much weight did you have to cut and how much time?
Like when I reached Lahore, that's when I got to know okay, I have
that your weight class doesn't exist.
Yeah, like they're cancelling because there's like 1 or 2 girls.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So that's when I got to know, and I was little careful before that because I had that instinct. Kuch ho jayega, kuch ho jayega. So when I came, I was like 67.7 or something. Then I reached down to 65.4 or so.
Damn.
So, yeah.
And like you reach there and then you're like, all right, weight cut.
And so I want to add one thing up. When events are being managed, I would really appreciate कि वहाँ females भी हो management में who will look after the females, like the sanitary products and a lot of things that female fighter needs. So that should be a must. Fighting Alliance में one thing was very beautiful that there was female putting the Vaseline and the female fighters and a lot of those things. That's a good thing, and that should be looked up to other events as well.
For sure.
Okay, I would really want to add. That's what I wanted actually. So basically with weights, there should be a female representative जो weight करे females का, so that we don't have that much issue के अच्छा weight cut करना है तो like you know your clothing weigh like 500 grams. So इसका we should have a female representative जो weigh in करे, ताकि हमारी जिंदगी आसान हो जाए.
Like, because literally with me, I was wearing shorts on my tights and I was giving the weight और वो कोई 200 ग्राम ज़्यादा हो रहा था, and they were like no and then she have to take off. इतना hyper हो गए, no इसका weight. I'm like, Heather was like relax, रुक जाए थोड़ा time दे. फिर I had to change the shorts and give the weight, तो वो 200 ग्राम कम आ गया literally.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's crazy. Because sometimes you have to do the towel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way to make the weight. But yeah, I mean, these are things that as a man you wouldn't think of. You know what I mean? And if there's all men controlling Pakistani MMA, which unfortunately is the case, then these things obviously always go overlooked. So I'm really glad you pointed these out. And yeah, I when I was watching the stream at Fighting Alliance, I was like, oh, nice, like a female cut man, hell yeah, like
I
more.
was so
of that.
happy about it. Yeah.
And like the cut man job might not make much of a difference. Like that's just, but like just the visual of
Yeah.
it, the semantics of it, like it makes a huge difference to say that. And you know, like I also understand there aren't a lot of women before this, you know, group of fighters that we saw in NFT. So I can understand there aren't a lot of officials at the pro level either. But at the same time, just train them. You know what I mean? Like if you can take time, money out to put an event together, train like 10 women, make them your judges, make them your cutmen, make them your referees. But yeah, I feel like we're all heading towards the right direction in Pak MMA in general, and I'm really glad like that first of all that you all took out the time to speak to us today, which is, it means the world. And also that, you know, like places like TFF, yes, but then even like the other gyms that were at NFT, there were so many, like the weight classes were full. As a commentator, I was expecting 11 male weight classes or 8, and then like 3 female weight classes, and then they were like, no, we're up to featherweight and women. I was like, what? I was like, who are these women and where have they been? Like, you know what I mean? And then they were like, lastly they were like, we might add lightweight. I was like, where are you getting these, where are these fighters, where have they been? So it's like so good to see this. And you know, like I know the Pakistani male's tendency is to suddenly go, oh, Tawbah, Astaghfar, what is, you know, like no, but that stuff's gonna happen, you know what I mean? That stuff is gonna happen. I hope it doesn't happen as much. There's one last thing I wanted to ask you girls about. 30 minutes flies by so fast. 30 minutes, yeah. The last thing I want to ask you was about Coach Haider Satti, because of course Coach EKS has had a lot of input into everything that goes on here. Coach Ali Sultan as well. Alumi is obviously a very big influence. Everybody. Anita goes without saying. Actually, I also want to ask you about Anita after this, but tell me about Coach Haider Satti. And you all mentioned him in your post-fight reviews as well, on your Instagram posts as well. What kind of a coach he is, what kind of an influence he's been, you know, around you at camp, and what do you want to say about Coach Haider Satti? Is he in the room?
Yeah.
Bro, oh, he's not even listening. It's fine. Yeah.
I can go on for days about this, honestly. The
Yeah.
amount of effort he put in and how he showed up for us. Honestly, when we didn't have a place to train at all, when Fight Fortress got shut down, we got enrolled in a gym in F11, and we used to train jiu-jitsu on yoga mats. And, he taught us drills, he drilled with us, he showed up for us every day, even when he was tired, in the mornings, in the evenings, whenever we called for it. And honestly, the amount of effort this man has put in, even looking for fights, looking for opponents, everything from start to finish, he's been one of the best coaches you could ever get. And I stand by that forever.
Yeah, so with me, as I mentioned, I joined MMA because of Haider Satti. So उसके पास कोई चारा नहीं था, but he had to stick with me. Yeah. So 2019 end I started doing MMA, and in 2020 it was COVID times, and gym was shut and everything, and I was like, I need to train, what to do. And Haider was literally at that time, we used to go at parks here and there. He used to train me all the time. And when eventually gym वापस open हो गया, फिर भी Haider was there. So he was the person who stuck by me. He was the person who motivated me so much that like, you can do it. And then again, gym got closed because of some reasons, and so I was like, what now? For a month I was like, I don't know what to do, it's just ending. Things like these. But then I was like, Heather, we need to train. And then we started going, me, Faika, and Heather, we trained regularly by then. And he, like, the hard work he put on us, it's like amazing. It's so good to see. He's so passionate about it. And even if you're losing and if you win, he's just so super proud of you. And Heather and me, we have such a beautiful connection. We are more than like a coach and student. We are friends. We are so alike. So yeah, it's amazing training with a person who's also your friend, your best friend, and then your coach. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
It has been a beautiful journey. Like when I joined TFF, tab Haider be like, he was into coaching naya coach tha. So I think I've seen him grown.
Yeah.
Like मैं खुद भी like I've seen my journey, then I've seen Haider's journey. So it's from a coach to a friend. It's beautiful. And the way he motivates you, you are like, you can explore the world. Like, literally can do anything.
Honestly, we're the ones doing psychology, but he's our therapist for sure.
So like in the grappling competitions in the beginning, you were like, हाँ बुशरा कर लोगे? I was like, अच्छा, okay, कर लेते हैं. Like literally in the beginning, I was like, okay, कर लेते हैं, फिर जब कर लेंगे.
Okay, one thing, so there was this grappling competition and I wasn't going for it. And one day before, Heather was like, you are going. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, why would I go? He was like, no, you're going. और एक दिन पहले उसने मुझे एक टेक डाउन सिखाया बैक से जाके बार बार करा रहा मैंने कहा Heather, it's not gonna work. And then in the grappling competition, even the opponent was on higher weight, but I did the same takedown and won. And I got a gold medal. So yeah, that's how Heather is with us. Like वो इतना ज़्यादा आपको push करता है that you know you can do this.
That's
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. The last thing I want to ask you, the last person I want to ask you all about is Anita. Of course, she's now more in Thailand. She's here, she's here right now, and when she's here for a long time. I'm sure you got to train with her, got to be around her, and I'm sure you started this journey with her as like a reference point. And you know, like I think one of you even said, like Anita can do it, so you can do it. You know what I mean? And Anita literally is the definition of a trailblazer. Started doing this when no one was doing this, kept doing it, defied all the odds, still doing it at the highest level now. What inspiration do you gather from her, and do any of you ever like talk to her and ask her for advice? And you know, what does she usually say, like when you go to her, or what have you learned just by being around her? Sure.
I think just her presence has been more than an inspiration for us, because seeing her train, seeing the passion she puts into it, seeing her videos, seeing how humble she is and how friendly she is, right? Just her presence has been such a huge source of inspiration that it's crazy. We get to train with her and she always pushes us to do our best. And yeah, it's just her presence is so warm and so great that it's been insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Anita Kareem before joining Fight Fortress.
Same.
And yeah. Okay, so when I was in Fight Fortress and she was there, it was the aura of her. It was just so beautiful to be around her, and I didn't have that guts to go to her and tell her how big fan I am of her. But yeah, I would literally say that if Anita wasn't in MMA, I wouldn't have joined it. Like, she was the inspiration. She was the one person, like, to see that she has gone so far, so I can do that as well. And now, and with time, our friendship has evolved. We are so good friends, Anita and I, like, our buddies. So when she was going to Thailand, I was literally crying. I missed her so much. So yeah, with the guidance and everything, she's there. She would tell me that what's wrong with my training, what I'm not going good. She would see my videos. Even when she's Thailand, she would tell me, "Saria, ha, thode upar kiya karo, ye kya karo, kya karo." So yeah, it's amazing with her. She's full of inspiration, and yeah, so thankful for her.
Like you said, I think about it. So in the meanwhile, like beach mein phase aaya tha. When I thought about it, I was like, nope, that's not my field, because I was training so much and I had zero opportunities. So that was the time I was like, I'm done, because previously I was training it for hobby. I was loving it, and when I was very obsessed with fights, that's when my training started affecting. So that's when I thought about it. I was like, Anita jab kar rahi thi tab bhi koi nahi tha. So I am here. So koi reason hogi. And I was literally, that was my one hope. Anita did it. There was opportunity. There was opportunity. Aa gayi, ho gayi. There would be something for me. And it's just being around Anita, it's just very pleasant. I'm like, oh, I'm around a big star. Like, it's just a very good vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't talk about it, but I feel very like, I'm around celebrities.
Starstruck.
Yeah,
She's
it's
so
literally-
humble. Aap
it's-
keh bhi nahi sakte.
It's really amazing. I don't think, I'm like, wow, like we have Ulumi Kareem, Coach Ulumi, Anita, Zia, like all these people. I'm like, nice. It feels good. It feels good.
We are around champions.
Yeah.
It does feel amazing.
No, you're all in absolutely the right place, if you ask me. And like speaking to Anita earlier, like it was very moving for me as well, just to hear her story, and also just to hear that, like I would ask her, like, what's the secret sauce, or what do you do, like kya wo cheez hai which sets you apart. She would just constantly just say it's just hard work, nothing else. Like I'm sure she passes on the same doctrine to you, and that is, I think, the TFF motto as well. She just just keep working your ass off, and then I think you'll eventually get there. This has been a really cool podcast. Thank you all so much for being a part of it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's been a dream.
Stop it. Absolutely our pleasure. And it was really cool to see all of you fight in NFT, get the W's, put in those performances, and it was really inspiring because I knew about you. I'd seen you fight once. I hadn't seen you before. But just the level of competition, the level of performance that you showed, it's really promising. And yeah, it's going to be really awesome from here. I think closing thoughts, for two halves to this closing thoughts. Number one, is there, and this is kind of just out of nowhere, but is there a fighter in your weight class that you say that this is the person I want to fight? This is the person I want to beat. This is the person I'm looking at right now. It doesn't have to be a call out. It can be a call out if you want to just call someone out and say, I'm coming for you. Look in the camera and tell them. But if even if just out of respect, there's somebody in my weight class, that is the person I'm looking at. That is the benchmark I've set for myself. Is there a name that any of you keep in your mind, or you just anytime, anywhere, any place?
I keep one in mind for Sarah.
Everyone knows.
Who? I wonder who it is. Is it
story time?
Yeah. Okay, go.
So I and Banu were about to fight 2 years back.
Okay.
Since 2 years we were
Banu
about
Bhatt,
to fight.
yep,
Yeah.
Banu Bhatt, yep.
In many events. And it didn't happen. A lot of time event didn't happen. One time we were about to fight and my nose was injured. So a lot of things. And I didn't expect it any sooner we were about to fight. But in NFT I wasn't sure as well. When I went there, I get to know she's in my weight class and we were fighting. Oh my god, it was so much of pressure when I got to know. Okay, so NFT first day, I wasn't about to fight. They told me female ki koi fights nahi ho rahi. Then Heather came up to me, tumhari fight. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, it's not Bono, right?
Yeah.
It was like, kya ho gaya? You have trained for so long, you can do it. And it wasn't Bono the first day. Second day, she was there, and so much was going on before the fight, so much of pressure, and I was more of being confident in myself. I was thinking about her wins, her being so many times the kid, and mad respect to her. She's senior than us obviously in this fight game, and she's so young yet again, so confident in her fighting style and all of it. So yeah, I lost that fight, and win or lose doesn't matter, to be honest, and I wasn't upset about the loss, but only thing I was a bit disappointed was because I didn't trusted myself and had that confidence. But yes, I have experienced that fight with her once, and I would love to experience that again with her. Yeah, I would love to share cage with her, not making it controversial.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3-4 months from now, I would love to fight her again.
That is the politest call out I've ever heard.
Yeah, we are on good terms, really.
Yeah.
That atomweight belt, she deserved more than anyone. She deserved that. I told her that after the fight, that you deserved that. This was your place, more than of me. Yeah, but next time I'm taking that back.
Yeah. I'll see you at NFT. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. What about you, Bushra? Is there someone?
Anybody. I'll
yeah.
fight anybody. I'm ready for. I just keep training. Mentally I'm ready for anybody. Because I'm train hard, discipline, train. This is what I tell myself every day. So yeah, that's anybody. That nobody matters.
Yeah. Faika, champ.
I think there's something that Coach Ehtisham tells us is that don't focus on your opponent, focus on yourself. And that's the mindset that we go in with. So yeah, as Bushra said, we'll fight anyone. We just focus on our training.
Anyone with Banu Bhatt as well.
Just putting it out there.
Except Banu. We really want to fight her.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. We're going to close the show. Are there any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say? Anything absolutely at all? I just realized I haven't done my intro, Umar Fasi, throughout this entire outro, the usual, anything you want to say, anything you want to get off your chest, any legal disputes that you might have, any financial disputes that you might have, anyone that owes you money, anyone that you owe money to. If there is something that you need to get off your chest, now is the time. And I'm kidding, you don't need to actually get in legal disputes, but is there something on your mind that you want to get off your chest and just, say to the camera, now's your time? If not, that's perfectly fine too, but I'll leave the floor open to you girls.
Girls, just get out of your homes, do what you want, no matter what anyone says. There's girls that will support you, there's people that will support you. Just do it.
Just for a workout, just work out, strength train for the skill. Don't even be a fighter, just train yourself, be strong. You should be able to do your everyday task easily without being dependent on anybody. We can do it, anybody can do it. Just work on yourself, invest on yourself, time, money, invest on yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it.
I mean, literally, for a person like me who is so skinny, so short, has done it. Anyone can do anything. So yeah, I mean, for girls out there, follow your passions, no matter what, no matter how disappointed people are in you, no matter how many people doubt you. Because for me as well, so many people doubted me when I started doing MMA. So yeah, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So do it.
Fight, women, fight. That is
Yeah.
the mantra for today.
Yeah,
Thank you,
literally.
women, for fighting, and thank you for raising the bar for Pakistani MMA. And thank you for all your performances. It was honestly very cool for me to see. And thank you for taking out the time again. Really means a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a close to the podcast. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Now that you have done so, I will be telling you that you are special for no reason whatsoever. Just thank you, and please leave a like, a share, subscribe, a comment, all of that. We love that you've stuck around till the end. Keep supporting On the Mic, keep supporting Pakistani mixed martial arts. Hashtag Safe Combat Sports, the same way we always tell you to do so. Please, 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 for the love of God, leave a subscribe. I don't know what your problem is, and thank you for doing so. And thank you so much, Ostruce, for the sponsorship and also for giving all of these fighters something to work with and run through. Please do go check them out as well. From me to you, I only have 3 words left for me to say to you, and that is keep it tight. I will see you soon next time. Take care.